A lot of the goals I was giving up late in a game were coming off of some stupid pass.
Whatever you guys were talking about, nobody heard. So it was really
We
important.
were just going through the passing, nothing too...
I disconnected, but I'm back.
Is it back? Well, you were saying Chalky was the lowest pass
attempts, yeah. At 44 games played.
What are the numbers? Like you said it was, what did you say, attempts 2,500 or 2,400 for Wolf?
Well, no, Highland Wolf had 45 passing attempts, but he had a 56% passing percentage. And then I was saying that North Bay had 61% pass percentage. So North Bay is a good passer.
That checks out. I always find he's he's like pretty careful with his passes. Like he's always connecting. It's hard to pick him off, I guess. So that makes a lot of sense.
I think that's actually something that's important because a lot of this game is about anticipating what is going to happen. When I'm playing Sean, I notice I have a pass open, but he's already selected his guy and he's skating towards where he thinks I'm going to pass it to, and a lot of times I make the pass, and he gets it. I still make the pass.
Do you hold the D-pad when you make a pass?
Yes.
I was just thinking about that the other night. I'm pretty sure I don't. I don't think.
You point where you want it to go.
Yeah, I don't think I do that.
I try to. It doesn't always end up. I've had teams where, in the W and the Q, where I'm trying to pass it somewhere, and there's clearly a one-timer opportunity and a clear shot for the pass, but it goes somewhere else. Yeah. Or if you're trying to pass it, I've had accidental one-timers where you're trying to pass it to some other guy, and it goes to. It goes somewhere you don't want it to go, and then you hit the one timer, and it's it ends up going in. Usually, those are on a blue line, like a D man on a blue line or something.
I beat Sagath on one playoff game once, trying to pass out front for a one timer, and it went to the D man for a one timer, and we got
a special guest.
We got Jeelock coming in.
We got a very special guest.
Nice.
I assume he's got no shirt on. He's connecting to audio. He's going to do a quick call-in. This is our first ever Bell and Bell. Listener call-in. Are you there? Listener X, are you there?
Well, I'm excited to talk to G.
Doesn't appear that he can talk. He's still connecting to audio. The technical difficulties on this show are second to none.
I just learned about his dog attack. Yeah. Last night, he was talking about it. Have you heard about this?
No. What do you mean?
No. I think so. He was I don't know, 10 years ago. He was on his mail route.
Hey, there he is.
He got attacked by a German Shepherd. He should tell that story. He should tell that story.
Can you guys hear me?
Sheila, we can hear you. Yeah, tell us about when you got attacked by a dog.
I'd rather not.
We didn't call the guy on to re-traumatize him about the dog. Only about the draft.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. But I was telling them, I was telling them how I just learned that last night.
Yeah.
I just learned it right now. Well,
there you go.
Well,
I sent a picture and injuries too, so you can see the inside of my leg if you want. It's pretty cool.
I don't know.
So, Jeelock, we're happy to have you calling in. The first ever listener call-in.
There you go.
How was your draft? I heard it went really well. Tell us what happened. What happened at pick 45?
Do you want pick 45, or do you want me to start where I wanted Devin Sadaguchi first?
No, Devin Sadaguchi was your error. Let's go to pick 45.
Was it 45 or 43? I forget.
Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
All right, I don't remember either.
No longer exists.
Well, what's the Sadaguchi? Tell me this. I missed all this. So let's get into this.
He got taken in the expansion draft that I wasn't privy to, apparently. And so I went to pick him, and I was told that he was taken. So when I presented evidence that he was still available, it was like, no, he's gone.
Did you get another guy?
Thankfully, Slimeball GMDS saved my ass on that one and suggested I go with Camilleri, which is probably better than what BPA was. So I'll take that.
Nice. Slimeball.
It's a shout out for BS.
My good buddy Slimeball, dude. GMDS.
Save the day.
Love DS.
So that happened round one. That was your round one.
That was round one, yeah. That was one.
Round two didn't go so well.
Round two was when it went from a mitigated disaster to an unmitigated disaster.
So walk us through. Wait,
Okay,
when did you
so,
first sign on?
Nate, first of all, I want to preface this by saying I harbor no ill will towards you on this one. All right.
Oh, I'm involved in this one?
Dude, that was my pick.
Dude, I wasn't even here. I was
That was my
in a
pick.
meditation retreat.
That was my pick that you got at 43 or 45 or whatever. When you took Leach. Was it Leach?
I don't even know who yeah, Leach, I think. Brooks Leach or something?
Yeah.
That's your guy?
So, no, but I came back in after my name was at that spot. I come in and all of a sudden it's like, oh, Taipei's there. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why am I here then? And I start raising hell basically in the draft channel, and I see just names flying by in the sheets like they're being picked at, just going crazy, but there's nobody talking. I'm just like, I'm just being ignored here. I'm shouting from the rooftops, and they was like, oh, I don't know anything about this.
So hold on. So you arrived prior to this pick coming up, or afterwards?
So I arrived pretty much just as you were picking.
Gotcha.
So everything was like pushed back by like an hour or whatever at that point and all that kind of stuff, right? I literally saw like it go from like 43 to 44 or roll over or whatever the fucking number it was.
And you're posting. I wasn't on there at that time, but I went back and viewed your posting. You are the only one posting.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I was like talking to myself. Like I'm just a lunatic.
And so in the end, you lost the pick? Like it's just gone?
Yeah, it was gone. Yeah. And Nips is like, well, I'll let you pick before me when he's last in the draft. And I was like, okay, cool. But at that point, I'm going to fucking pass because everybody wants gone. So what's the point?
It just evaporated. It's just gone.
Now, I'm going to speculate here. I'm not going to name names, but Caden has my next year's first round. He has a vested interest in me sucking this year. I like the guy, but I don't know, kind of. I don't think he'd do it, but would he?
That's good stuff. That's
Maybe
a good
he's like-
conspiracy.
Maybe he's like some kind of like behind the scenes mastermind pulling the strings, right? Puppet master.
Man, I
Puppet
don't
master
think
Caden.
for the
out of-
second rounder.
out of everybody in this league, I just don't see Caden being evil like that.
That's what I thought before this.
Like I cannot. Yeah,
Exactly.
maybe we all trust him too
He's
much.
the perfect villain. Like nobody thought Kylo Ren was going to go bad, right?
Oh
Man,
man,
that
that's
was
good
good.
stuff.
Well, G, thanks for the call, man. That was well worth it.
Thanks for having me on, man. Good luck to all of you the rest of the season. I hope I don't suck as much as I'm going to because of that pick.
You better not. That pick now. You're motivated.
I'm going to own it. Love the NoFX hat. Shut up.
See ya, man.
Later, guys.
So, yeah.
See you, buddy.
Oh man, that's a highlight. That's a good one. Wow. So there you have it, Nate. You pretty much got the full picture of the draft.
Wow. So Brooks like, he's the. That's crazy. That's really crazy.
When did people start calling DS a slime ball? When did that start? Because I mean, he has that nickname of just being a slime ball. I mean, it's fitting, but I don't know. I don't know.
We're gonna be getting a letter from DS's lawyer any day now. Quit slandering my good name.
I don't know when it happened. Who started calling him a slime ball? How did that stick?
You know what we should do is let's take our 5 best guesses at who started that nickname. Because I honestly don't remember.
My first two guesses would be Nips and Puss.
Yeah, I'm going with Puss on that one. Yeah.
That's a unanimous first guess. Is there anybody else in contention, or is Puss running away with that?
Nips and Puss. Those are the only two guesses I have right now.
I'm not even guessing Nips. I don't think he came up with that. There's only one man that would have come up with that. This is why this league is 4 years in, because it's just endless entertainment. Oh man, that was a good sidebar conversation. What do you? Let's turn to your roster for a bit, there, Mr. Pink.
Yeah.
You got the two Sedines. How fun are
Yeah.
they to play with?
You know, I love the Sedines. I think that when I had Eric Cole, they were perfect wingers. Eric Cole was one of those guys, man. Like, he was special.
He's
Like,
the March Madness champ, eh? Congrats.
yeah,
on
there was
the big
thanks,
title.
and there was just something about I've had a couple of guys that they have incredible. It's either puck luck or they just shoot the puck and it goes in. I don't know how to explain it, but he was one, and Alexei Tezikov was another one, but he was a D man, but he had the same kind of, like, anything I shot went in with him. It was crazy. But the Sedines, they're fast. I like playing. I like playing. You know, obviously, I like having a center that has a good 5-5 shot. And that's what I'm dealing. I think that's what I'm starting to deal with the Sedines. I'm starting.
Who's your third forward with him this year?
Right now, well, I go back and forth between Peter Sikora and John Madden.
Both former Taipei, right?
Yeah, I got John Madden. I got John Madden
from me.
I got Madden from you. I don't remember that. What all was involved in that trade?
I do. I think it was. I think you kind of crushed me in that trade because I moved up in the draft from like 18 to 13 or
Oh, that's
something.
what it was,
And
yeah.
I gave you Ninema and Madden and
That's
maybe.
right. I tried to get Ninema from Sean a couple of times, or we had talked
Pretty
about
good.
it.
I like
Yeah.
him. I think he's solid.
Yeah, I liked him. I liked him a lot.
And what do you think of Madden? I always really enjoyed playing with Madden. He was like shifty.
Yeah, he misses on dekes. He hits the post a lot. But I do like having, like, on a right wing. I do like having a right-handed player on right wing if I can get one. I don't mind doing 3 left-handed players up front. But if I can get a right-handed player, I do prefer to have a right-handed player on right wing. And that's what Madden is. But this season, he actually, I think this is when he peaks. This season, maybe next season. So I'm going to play him over Sikora at right wing.
You mentioned that you like shot accuracy, shot power for your centers. What other stats do you look for on your forwards?
The forwards, I really just look at agility, speed, shot power, shot accuracy. If it's a winger, I will look at passing. But I don't really put too much into anything outside of those 4 attributes. I kind of started looking at awareness a little bit, but I don't know if I'm completely sold on those being more important than the shot power, shot accuracy.
We had Maryland Mike on here, and he was talking. He said he looked at speed, agility, and stick handling, and that was it. And that was the first
I don't
time
look at stick handling. I don't look at stick handling. I don't know. I mean, the Sedines have pretty good. They like 14, 15 stick handling, and I find that they kind of lose the puck a lot. Both of them. More so than any other forwards more than the previous forwards that I had with, like, Bondra. Like, when I had Bondra and Sikora, and I forgot who my other winger was, but those guys didn't lose the puck the way that the Sedines lose the puck. It's weird.
What about D? What do you look for with your D? What stats?
D, really, I think it's just, right now it's just speed and agility, and with the D-men, I will look at the awareness a little bit. I do like to look at roughing, because I think that I believe that roughing is the true checking attribute. So like checking. So what I believe is like I think checking is the attribute when it's controlled by the drone. That's like the checking is the drone, and then the roughing is when you select him and check. And I've told a few people this. I base this entire theory off of Stuart Gavin in the queue. He had 5. He was a sustained 5 roughing, and I think his checking was like 2. But he would lay people out. When I selected Stuart Gavin, I could back check, I could forecheck, I could injure people. It was great.
I
And
never once looked at roughing. This is really
yeah, I
interesting.
look at
I'm gonna
roughing.
check my stats.
Yeah, I will look at roughing over because like when I changed my team from like after season 2, I went heavy. I shipped all those guys out, and I got like a really fat roster.
You traded me Bure for Lindros.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. That was actually
Heavies, yeah.
I think the first bombshell trade.
Yeah.
I don't think there was any big trade like that before that happened. And when I got Lindros, that was a trade that benefited, I think, both teams. Like
They
it was
were both good players.
yeah, I had success with Lindros, and I had success with the heavy hitting guys, but the checking, I think if I could go back and do that again, and if I were to build that same team, I probably would put more emphasis on looking at roughing.
Do you think you would ever do that again? Like
No. No, I would. So I would if I was actually prepared to go fat after if I didn't. So it was whatever I don't know what year it was, but it was the shitty bill that I was playing for one of the Sedines with Wolf. Whatever season that was, if I didn't make it, if I didn't make it to that final and get one of the Sedines, I was planning on going heavy after that.
yeah, so that I don't know when that was either, but probably let's say maybe season
6 or
7.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
which is interesting because I remember thinking that was when I think it was Sunnyvale. Who was the guy he had?
Daze, yeah.
Daze.
Daze, who couldn't like turn, but he would just bounce off people. Yeah, he was good.
Right. It was that team when I played Sunnyvale that year in somewhere in the playoffs, and his team was so hard to play against. Like those guys, you couldn't knock them down. And that was the first time I kind of thought like, oh, I should try to get bigger guys. But
it worked when like the season, my first season, like season 3, when I did that, I was winning games, and it was actually a strategy or a team that I built that I saw some success with. I mean, that season I made it to the quarterfinals, and I got swept by Pitt in the quarterfinals of that season. And then what happened? Like I would make the playoffs, I think a couple more seasons after that, but then it was just like speed. I think the speed attribute has been tried and tested so many different ways, and it's still king. It cannot. Speed is everything.
Yeah, I felt that way at one point, that speed is everything. Now I feel that speed is the most important thing, but there's other things that are important.
Yeah. Yeah,
Agility being one of them. I've got a couple guys this season that are 5 speed 4 agility, and I'm not sure how that's going to go. Last year, same thing. I have Mark Straight, 5 speed 4 agility, and he's kind of, I don't know, he's not shifty. Can't really be.
Yeah. Yeah, agility. I don't value it as much as I do speed. I think it's important, but I don't. The shiftiness. I don't know. Maybe I just don't. I'm not really. I don't think I'm really a shifty player unless I'm on a deke or something.
Let me read you what Krav just posted because it's kind of interesting. I've been noticing that stick handling goes hand in hand with speed/agility. Player keeps their speed with good stick handling. Player that is fast with poor stick handling tends to get caught more often. For what it's worth, that's the words of Krav. It's kind of interesting because the stick handling thing is kind of, for me, kind of come out of nowhere. Like before Marilyn Mike saying that, that's another stat. Like roughing, I've never once looked at. Stick handling, I never once had looked at.
Yeah. Well, I think if anybody is going to, I think we should all be building our teams based on what you look at, Sean.
Oh, I don't know.
what do you mean you don't know? You won like 18 times.
We gotta follow the Sagathon model now, I think.
We're just gonna get every 5-speed.
No way, Sean's won 18 times. He's like, yeah, I don't know.
Sagathon's the champ right now. We haven't actually talked about season 13 playoffs.
I was looking at Sagathon's roster just before we pivot there, and he's got a guy on there, Andrew McDonald or something. I've never heard of this guy before. He's a 60 rated D. Mm-hmm. And I looked this guy up, and he's next year I think he's 5 agility, 6 speed. As a 60 ranked D-man. Like a 6 speed D-man is there even like ever been any 6 speed D-man? Like he might be the best defenseman in league history. And he's rated 60, probably just sitting on like like at the end of the draft or something. Like I was like, holy shit. Like,
you also, Pink, you go through the list, right? Like you search that Excel spreadsheet pretty good?
What I do is because I've sent you a couple of the things that I extract. I've sent a couple other people those things that I extract for the like the rookie classes and stuff. And what I've done, and you've probably opened them on your desktop, right, instead of your phone, so you see what I've highlighted. Yep, like for sure. On those 4 attributes, those 4 attributes is really all I look at for that stuff, So I'll filter it, and like if there's, I'll look at other things if there's a tiebreaker. If I'm looking at 2 guys, then you have to go and look at other attributes. You got to go a little bit deeper, but yeah, that's really all I look at. I think. Obviously the guys that are rated 80s and 90s and overall, those guys won't be around, by the time it's my pick these days.
Yeah, no, interesting. I mean, I don't know how Sagathon found that guy, but I guess he must do the same.
Well, I've sent him some of the stuff. He's one of the other people I've sent.
There must be
those things too.
He always has a good season or a good team, a good roster. I think Nate, you were saying in our playoff preview.
The other one, Pink, is he the third you've sent it to, or just the champ? Just the champs you're helping out? Or?
No, I have DM, like if I'm having any conversation, like I've had conversations just about and I've talked to Sean, like in our DMs, we just I bounce ideas off of him and ask him, what do you think about this attribute or that attribute, or what do you try to do in your lineup? And I've done the same with Sagathon, and I've done the same with a few other people. And I've sent those extractions to Salvo. I've sent them to Caden. I've sent them to a few. I've sent them to Nips. I've sent them to a few people.
They're pretty interesting.
One of the things I wanted to do in the queue was whenever this new database was supposed to be done. That's what I wanted to do, is go through and extract every rookie class, and then just have a channel where I post each of these Excel extractions in, so we all can have them.
That's amazing. Like the 2010 list. I DM'd it to Nathan once, like a while ago. And just to save it, I was like, well, we're gonna lose this for sure. So
right.
I'm like, people are making trades, and I'm like scrolling up through our DMs trying to figure out where the hell is this thing. It takes me forever, and finally, that's the only place I think that it's saved right now.
Isn't it? Well, you have it on your email, because I email them to you.
I have a hard time. I get those emails, I open them, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Oh, Klein is another person I've sent them to. I've sent them to Klein. I've sent them to Matty A. I've sent them to a few people, and I've done it in the queue as well.
Yeah, it's good, but I find it a bit overwhelming, the stats. So I kind of just I don't really search them. I look at what DS says for his draft preview and kind of pick a guy from there.
Yeah.
Did he have one this year?
No. There wasn't that many good players, though, this year, I don't think. Like, other than Stamkos, and then they had those guys at the top. Doughty went high. Pietrangelo went to Hoth. And then Wheeler went to Hoth and like by trade.
Hoth had he had what, 3 first-round picks?
Yeah, so
I think.
He traded for Wheeler after Wheeler was picked, but he ended up with Pietrangelo at pick 3, Wheeler who was pick 4, and then who did he get? James Neal, I think, at pick 10.
Oh, yeah.
That's the kind of level this draft. Like, James Neal is okay.
Yeah.
He's not.
But he's a winger. He'll be a winger.
Yeah, it might be a 4th winger kind of guy, and that was pick 10. Like, it wasn't a great draft. I was going to try to pivot quickly to season 13 playoffs, just to give a little shout out to Sagathon. I mean, that was quite the win. He destroyed Wolf in the finals. He had a great run.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting a sweep. I mean,
Wolf's been playing him like
super
good too. Like, yeah, Wolf.
Yeah, he came in
that matchup.
He actually had a really good playoffs. Like, he came in pretty hot into the final, and yeah, I don't know what happened. I didn't see the final. I was actually stuck on that stupid plane for 3 hours.
He beat him pretty good. Like, it wasn't really close. It was a sweep, and it was. I mean, the last couple games were closer, but I think he took his foot off the gas a bit, and it was not close. The first game was 6-0, and it was just like after that, it was kind of over.
Yeah,
which is, I mean, kind of amazing. Sagathon scoring 6 goals in a finals game. He did it twice. He won 6-5 I think, in game 4.
No, he's found a few things. Like, even in our series, he scored, I want to say 4 or 5 on me the one game, and like, that's unheard of for Sagathon to score that many goals, right? So
and I think that like Wolf is actually probably the best camper now. I think.
Yeah.
When I play Wolf, it's tough with the camping. And
Sagathon's still good.
To get swept, but to get swept like that,
true. Yeah.
You know, when you have a decent manual goalie, that's crazy and sad.
But I mean, to be fair to Wolf, I mean, that's a hell of a run. He beat out both Nips and Puss. He took out Sutton, made it to the finals for the first time. Like, it's amazing to think, like, for a guy who has one shitty bill before to be that close to a title.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Huge. Like, doing this like list, I was like, yeah, that's his. You got to just level Wolf up after these runs, because he made the semis last year, maybe 2 years in a row, and then the finals, or maybe just 1 year.
Last year was his first year in the semis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it was a bit of it seemed like a fluke, because he got that first round bye against Sunnyvale, then he beat Sagathon second round, right? But it kind of was like, it felt like a bit of a fluke, and then he got destroyed in the conference finals, but not anymore. I mean, I guess it's like the Timberwolves, like, nobody's going to question them now after the second conference finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about season 14? I asked you guys just to put together a little bit of a list of who's got pressure on them going into season 14. We did it before season 13, and we talked about both the Clinton brothers, Audubon and Richfield. Forget who else we talked about, but there was a few guys who had some pressure on them. Let's start with you, Pink. Who's one team that you've identified as having pressure for season 14?
There's no question. It's hands down NIU. This guy, whenever he makes it to the playoffs now, has the most pressure to just win the series. Like, that's what the talk of the town is going to be from here on out when he makes the playoffs. Is like, hey, dude, you gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta get it. You gotta get it.
Yeah, forgot about that.
Like, he's better. He's better than, like, one and done. Like, he's got the skill set to make a deep run.
Yeah, I agree a lot with that. I mean, I think he reminds me of how Unholy was for a while, but Unholy had like the worst matchups every year in the first round. But he went so many seasons and he just couldn't get out of that first round, and and he was really, really, really good. And finally he got out of that. And he made all the way to the conference final.
NIU, like, I hate playing him. I hate playing him. I'm always nervous when I play that guy. because I think he's got the best forechecking, back checking, whatever you want to say about the angles he takes on his checks. Like, I don't know how he does it. I don't know how he does it. And there's only a select few people that I've seen that can choose the type of angles that he takes on those hits, and then to get them. Like, he does it. I think Red is another one that's really good at it. I think, was it Colin that's really good at that as well? There's a few people that just know how to take the angle, and I don't know how they do it. I can't do it.
At what point in your series did you think that you were going to win?
I think I started believing I could win after Game 5.
Yeah, so you were down 3.
Yeah,
4,
game
you looked
game
like you were
4.
trying to throw it, like on
Game 4, I was trying just not to get swept.
You were doing some wild things with your goalie in Game 4 that made me think like.
Yeah, I started doing some A dives. I wasn't trying to throw it, but my give a damn was busted. You know, like.
You snuck that one out. You won Game 5. Then you started.
Game 5. After Game 5, I was like, well, I could one more, and I'm, one more, and it's, we got ourselves a big series here. That was really, I think it was after Game 5. I was like, I could win one.
Yeah, and imagine he must have been gripping the paddle pretty hard by the time Game 6 rolled around and you won again.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Yeah, it's a shame because I would have loved to have done that to someone else.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah, I know. I usually cheer for you, but in that series, I was cheering for him. Just like, I was like, please don't come back, please, and he did.
Is that first time in the rule, or I think it happened in Shitty Bill. Either Audubon did it to someone, or Jade or I think he did it to Halifax or something way back, but I don't remember.
And you posted after that happened to him in the queue already once.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, I think it did happen in the queue. Oh. I don't know if it. I don't know if it happened in the W.
That's really tough. Okay, I guess he's the answer then for the most pressure.
He's definitely the answer. Who else did you have, Nate?
I didn't even think of him for some reason. Yeah, he wasn't even on my radar. But yeah, that's clearly the answer. I said Red, Puss. Probably those guys stand out as being top players that exited kind of early last playoffs. Puss in terms of he's now got a roster. He's got Stamkos. He's got a stud. The roster excuses are over now, and Red still has the horrible roster, but he's obviously one of the top players. So it's you still expect him to make a run in the playoffs. So if he goes out in the first round again, I think that looks quite bad. Or he's kind of just getting a bit forgotten in that top tier, which so he was the unquestioned second best player for a while. So he's got to at least win a series, I think, this year.
Yeah, no, that's super interesting. Because I kind of feel that way too. We've all kind of forgotten about Red as one of the best guys, and he's only 2 years out from winning the President's Trophy with Maddie's team. And then last year had the shittiest roster, So he had the excuse, but he went 7 games with Puss and lost in round 1. But you're right. If he goes out again in round 1, he's going to become another guy.
Right.
And Puss, yeah, his roster's kind of stacked. He didn't get a goalie. I was surprised by that. I couldn't believe he couldn't trade a future first for Carey Price. Other than that, though, he's got a really good roster. Lupo, Kovalev, Williams.
Stamkos, I'm excited to see what he does with Stamkos because I think this is for Puss. This is talent that's long overdue, and he's been searching for somebody like this for a long time.
Since Mogilny.
Stamkos is good too.
Yeah,
his numbers are really.
He's like Ovechkin. He's got. His numbers are like Ovechkin.
Yeah.
What a trade! Jesus. Doughty for Stamkos
And it was funny too because it seemed like everybody was trying to rip that trade away from him too. Did you notice that? Like on the Discord, like everybody seemed to try to null and void it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a tough one, but it was hard to null and void it because it was negotiated in public, you know.
Yeah,
Don came on and was like, "Oh yeah, I'm picking Doughty, no questions asked." So like, I mean, what can Puss do? Of course he's going to take that trade. But,
right.
Man, it was unbelievable when I saw that.
Well, hopefully Stamkos is one of those guys that he's got a glass jaw and you can knock him out.
The guy I had on my list of pressure teams was Ultra, because he made a jump last season. And can you keep it up, or is he going to fall back to being a bubble team again?
Yeah. I mean, he's another one trying to win that series, right? The first playoff series as well. So that makes sense.
I don't think he's going to be.
I didn't know he hasn't
won.
won.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Won. Wow. I don't think he'll ever be a favorite in the first round, but. Maybe he'd have to take he'd have to level up another level from where he was last season. But can he even get back into being a 13 seed, 14, 15 seed? Because it's tough this year, like 31 teams.
Oh, it's tough this year, yeah.
Oh, man. Like, there's going to be a bunch of really good players who don't make the playoffs.
All right, I got a question for you guys. Who's most likely to tank this year? There's going to be someone tanking this year, I think, with this draft. Who's most likely? Who are some candidates?
I got a candidate. For you. Yeah, there's going to be a few. I'll bet money that there's a few. And let me give you my number one candidate is a guy who has a goalie rated at 58 and another goalie with a black box under his name. Let me give you 3 guesses who that one is. I mean, yeah, Hamilton's got a good roster, but he's got Rask at 58, and he picked up Ray Emery on the waiver wire for like help. He never needs him, actually. He'll just be a trade chip. Ray Emery is never better than Tuukka Rask. So instead of grabbing a goalie who could play this year, he just said, fuck it. I'm just going to grab a potential second-round pick trade guy in the future.
Mm.
That's my number one thought.
Sutton's taking a beating. Who is that?
That's Derek Sutton. He's taking a beating tonight, but he's still my number one pick on that.
For the tanking, you got anyone pink? Or who else
I'm scrolling through the active tab right now. I don't know.
It should be LHX. He should. He won't probably, but he should.
I can't see. That's the thing is I can't really see some of these, like some of the people, like Lloyd. I would
he'll
like he was my first. He was my first choice. But then I was like, I can't see him doing that.
He's not tanking. No,
he's not doing that. There's no way he tanks. I would say LHX won't either.
I don't think
just
so
Richfield
either.
Again, round 2.
Richfield clearly will.
Maybe Richfield might. Yeah,
it's not a bad time actually because his roster was so good and now it's kind of garbage again.
Yeah, I'll pick Richfield. I think he's due for a good tank.
I can see Richfield doing it.
It's been like 5 seasons. He's got to restock.
Didn't he? It was the year he got. Was it Agilma?
Yeah.
Or
no,
who was the other
Kovalchuk,
guy?
He got Kovalchuk.
Was it Kovalchuk? Right? Yeah.
Yeah, he tanked that year. Like obviously, what did he win? Like 3 games or something? He had been in the playoffs the time before.
I wonder about him. I actually think he's got one foot out the door, man.
Yeah.
Like he used to be very active, like posting things, and I don't want to, I don't want to see anybody leave, but I wonder about him sometimes because of how much he used to be involved. And then seeing a lot of players that, I mean, he was like top tier in the beginning. Yeah. Like when we first started, he was really one of the better players, and now there's a lot of people that have improved and passed him up. And mixed in with him not really being as involved, I wonder if he's going to leave us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's probably a fair bet, really, at this point of all the guys. Because it's hard, like, I remember Wolf and Klein saying this before, it's hard to lose. And if you're not used to, like, why are you doing it? I mean, I kind of feel that way about your chess tournaments there, Nathan, although I had a good one this time, but, like, it gets old real fast if you're losing all the time. Like, man, like, why?
Well, it's one thing if you're losing but like if you're losing and you're improving, like Krav, right? Like he's a guy that came in, took his lumps, but he's getting better, and he's no longer fun to play against. You know, like he's good. He's improved, and you know, I think if you're losing but you're improving, that's one thing. But like if you're, you know, if you're just losing and you're not really
it's also
doing anything about it
too. Like
well, that too.
Like Crowd's come in at, you know, he's come in to start from the bottom up, and the same with like guys like Jer. Like, you know, it's just your expectations. But if you're a Richfield and you were a top 8 guy consistently for the first 6 seasons or whatever, man, it's got to be a bit hard to be now like 18, 19, 20. Maybe you make the playoffs and get swept in the first round. Like, it sucks.
Yeah.
Anybody else? I'm looking through the list. I don't see a lot of other candidates, honestly, out here.
Yeah, I don't know who is a known tanker. Is that it? I don't.
There's only been one. I'm not sure about Ellis. We'll see how Ellis does this year. Ellis' season last year was a little suspect.
Ellis, I was looking at his roster this year. I think this might be the first time he's ever had an average player on his team. You know, like Datsuk's the best player in the game this year, and like this might, like, honestly, I was thinking like above average, but has he ever even had an average player on his team? Like, I don't think so. And so there's no way he's tanking it. Like, he's gotta push for it. Like, I think he'll make a playoff push this year with Datsuk. He got Saray. He's got a roster for the first time.
Datsuk's a 99 this year.
99. He's the cover guy, right? Like, he's dominant. So, like, you got to be playing to win.
He's got good D only for 2 more years. Yeah, he's got a roster this year. If you're right, he's got Ryan Klo and Hanzu still in the wings. He's got a good team. No goalie, but.
And he's never had a roster before. So.
You're right. Pat,
like, it might be very interesting to see how good Ellis can be with a roster. Like, he could, you know, he's made the playoffs before. He's never had a decent roster, so I think he might make a push for those last couple spots.
That'll be cool. Yeah, it's such a good draft that it's going to be tempting for people if they lose a bunch in the first 20 games. It's going to be really tempting because it is like this draft is stacked. Like I was looking at 11 really good players just off the list, and that's like that's assuming his team doesn't end up in the draft, and if they do, you're up to like 14, 15 like really, really good players.
Yeah. Ovechkin and Malkin, that's a crazy duo. Red had to love playing with those guys, man.
I'm sure he did. Like, that's who played with the All-Star team.
Like, every night had to be great.
Do you feel that way with the Sedins? Like, I look at the Sedins and I look at their stats and they're like the best players. Like, it's like 2 Berets. But is it like that?
I like having them, and I think that they are really fun to play with. But I'm still, like, it's weird. I'm still looking for somebody better. Like, I don't know. It's like I want to keep them on I want to make them my wingers instead.
Yeah. No, I hear you. You need like Eric Lindros in his prime.
Yeah.
Well, let's end our season 14 talk, and we'll get into what we plan to do here, which is our best overall offensive players, not like pixelated players, but like NHL people holding controllers. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna take a quick break just because I want to shut the stream down so that it can break up the YouTube. It makes it so much easier to upload to YouTube. And then we'll rejoin and we will start part 2. See you guys in a second.